When should I sell my Bitcoin? You know, all of us in the crypto community, it seems we would be lying if we didn't have that thought cross our mind, especially with Bitcoin up at 50,000 per Bitcoin, or nearly 50,000 per Bitcoin. Last time I checked, it was at 48,000, 46, 48, and who knows if it's going to be over 50 in the next minute, hour, day, week. You know, it seems like it's headed there. When should we sell? You know, it's a question that we're all really thinking about, and I wanted to make a video on my main 2 points on why I have held my Bitcoin. I haven't sold any of it, and what it would take for me to sell my Bitcoin. I hope it helps you. Please let me know in the comments down below. Before I get into these main 2 points, I wanted to say that this is to be taken as financial education based on my opinion. This is not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. I am not a Series 7. I am not a financial advisor. So disclaimer, not to be taken as advice in any way, shape, or form. The first thing I want to talk about is conviction. Conviction for a trade. You got a lot of the doggy coin guys out there, and I'm calling it doggy coin. I know everybody says Dogecoin. You know, I'm going to call it doggy coin because it makes it sound more like it should. Conviction is everything when it comes to making the big money. When it comes to making big money, conviction is everything. The difference between conviction and not having conviction for a trade and taking more of a gamble is when you have a trade like doggy coin. And yeah, I call it doggy coin. When you are putting your money on that, if you don't think in your mind, you know, I'm comfortable putting my net worth on this trade, then you don't have conviction if you're not comfortable doing that. You know, a lot of people have outlined, like Michael Saylor, like Raoul Pal especially, who put 98% of his net worth in crypto. You know, these individuals, they thought it through. They had their teams think it through. They checked every angle of the trade, and then they made a big, big, bold move with conviction. And that's how you make the big money. You know, the people who get diversified on a lot of little gambles, they often don't make the big money. And so the difference here, and just to put it into perspective, we'll talk just random numbers, not exact numbers here. But let's say with me specifically, I have a lot of conviction with silver. I would be comfortable putting my entire net worth in silver. Now, maybe some people would think that is, you know, crazy. But me personally, I think that is a great play. So if I make, let's just throw this number out. You know, I think it actually made more in the last 12 months, but let's just say it makes 25% silver, but I put $1 million in silver and I had conviction about it. I said, I'm putting my net worth on silver. I'm putting $1 million in there on silver. Well, I would make $250,000 on 25% in 1 year in an annual return. And that's only 25%, right? Now, the same on the other end of the spectrum, if I went, you know, this doggy coin, Dogecoin, you know, I think this is going to the moon. You know, it's going to be a moonshot. I'm not sure, but I think it's possible. I think, you know, if Elon Musk hypes it up enough, it'll go up a lot to $1. Well, yeah, right on. You know, you think like that. Well, those individuals will often go, if you tell them, hey, you're going to put your net worth on that trade? You're going to really put your net worth on that? Really? Ask yourself. 9.9 times out of 10, it's not. And if they are, that's a pretty risky one there. Pretty risky one there. You're not going to be sleeping as well as I would be sleeping with my silver. You know, you're not going to be sleeping as well. You're going to be checking that phone constantly. And I've been there before when I used to be an options trader. I've been there looking at my phone, waking up just to watch it. Waking up at 6:30 for the stock market to open just to watch it. Not even to make any trades, but just to watch my options fluctuate in these crazy numbers and crazy percentages. It's going to keep you up at night. It's going to keep you stressed out when you're in a trade like that. But you usually don't go in with conviction. And so say you were the individual that got into Dogecoin or whatever, or doggy coin, how I like to call it, and you went from 1,000 to 10,000, right? You went from 1,000 to 10,000, you had a 10x return on this. Most of those individuals are going to be bragging a lot. Oh, Dogecoin made me 10 grand, you know, Dogecoin made me, or the better yet, they'll say, made me 10x. Maybe 10x. I got a 10x return. Did you get a 10x return on your silver? Because I got a 10x return on my Dogecoin. Well, what was a bigger trade? What made more money? The person who had conviction and put $1 million on silver and made $250,000 on that? Say that, and that's not exact. I'm just saying if it made 25%, it might have actually, I think it made more than that in the past year, but I'd have to double check. But say 25%, lot less than a 10 bag or 1,000% gain. But that individual in this scenario would make $250,000. In that scenario, the other individual makes 10,000. But I don't think if they had $1 million net worth that they're going to put it all on the line on Dogecoin. I don't think they would do that. You know, if you're a real estate developer or something, you're comfortable putting your net worth on the line because you believe in what you're doing in that development. You know that real estate is going to be worth more money because you've studied it thoroughly and you have conviction about it, and that's how you make that big return on that money. But most millionaires are not going to put their entire net worth on something like a risky play into an altcoin like that. That's the difference between conviction and having some, quick little gain. I had a friend that was talking about, what was it, like ENPH stock, some sort of solar panel or electronics stock. And he was talking about it. And he goes, yeah, I like this stock. I think it's a good one, And then I said, yeah, it looks interesting. Some insider selling has been going on. I was looking into the stock. And he goes, yeah, I don't really want to go into it big. I might not go into it at all. But, like a year later down the line or 6 months later or something, it goes up 500% and I can't hear the end of it. But we both know that he didn't have conviction on that trade. He didn't have conviction on the trade. So the big difference between having no conviction and having conviction is you can make a huge amount of money with conviction by being able to park more of your net worth and being able to sleep at night in that trade. Now, you see that with Bitcoin. And how does this relate to, should I sell my Bitcoin? We're seeing more and more people go into Bitcoin with conviction. And look at Rob Paul, put 98% of his net worth in Bitcoin. Look at Michael Saylor, put his I think it's almost his entire treasury into Bitcoin to the tune of, I believe it's like $3 billion. Now you got Tesla putting $1.5 billion into Bitcoin. These are bold moves. These are very bold moves. This isn't like going into an altcoin. By the way, you didn't hear about Tesla going into Dogecoin, right? It went into Bitcoin. So they're making this move into Bitcoin knowing, after researching Bitcoin and understanding that this is a hardening asset, that it ends at 21 million and it's hardening over time. It's very interesting as a storage of wealth in the digital realm. And we're seeing that conviction happen more and more. So with Bitcoin, if I have, the amount of Bitcoin that I have conviction about that. Let's say anything over 10,000 for me personally, I have some pretty big conviction on that trade. And with Bitcoin, I can assure you I have a lot of conviction on that trade. So that's the first thing that I want to talk about is, when should I sell? When less people have conviction. When less people really believe enough to be putting a $1.5 billion position in their treasury in Bitcoin. When less people like Michael Saylor are around talking about Bitcoin with conviction. The next point I wanted to talk about, and this is really the largest one, and I'm actually kind of taking this out from a page of Michael Saylor's book. It really was eye-opening the way he answered this question, because recently an interviewer asked Michael Saylor, and said, and this is point number 2, that's point number 1, when less people have conviction. When I see less people with conviction, right now I see more and more people with conviction on Bitcoin. Now, number 2, and this is the second point, is Michael Saylor was asked by an interviewer, when would you sell Bitcoin? What would it take for you to dump your, multi-billion-dollar Bitcoin position? And Michael Saylor responded very simply and extremely elegantly as well. Or in an elegant way. I think that might be the way to say that. But what he said, he goes, when something that comes along that is better. And on the surface, you might go, okay, what does that even mean? When something comes along that's better. The logic behind that, you can tell that this man really thought this through. What he means is, if you're riding a bicycle down the street and cars don't exist yet, you're going to think your bicycle is number 1. You're going to think, yeah, these individuals walking around me, I got it made. I got a bicycle. But as soon as you see a car drive by you, you're going to go, oh, that's better. That's better. And that car that's driving, it's going to be driving. And as soon as, and it's going to think, this is the bee's knees. There's nobody that has something better than this. This is it. I got this car. It can drive me 300 miles and I can get wherever I need to go in this car. And then it looks up and it sees a plane fly by. And it looks back at its car and it looks at the plane and goes, that's better. That's better. That's what Michael Saylor means by that. And right now, he sees Bitcoin as the best place to store his money in this time and age. I thought that to be such a logical way to look at it. And the more I think about it myself, it's getting harder for me to not want to take some of my Bitcoin off of the table here. But I know how much money I can make with conviction. I'm not all in Bitcoin. As I've said in the past, I think it's foolish to be all in Bitcoin, and I think it is equally foolish to have no Bitcoin. So I am in the middle there. But with the position in Bitcoin that I have not sold. I have continuously added more and added more and added more. And so that is what I mean by conviction. Obviously, I am much heavier in silver. I have a lot of platinum. I'm big in precious metals, and specifically industrial precious metals. But that is my two main things I wanted to talk about with Bitcoin and what it would take for me to sell it. I agree with Michael Saylor, and I think that that's extremely logical. And he put a lot of thought into that by just going, when something comes along that's better. He didn't answer it with no. I want to keep that would be the Dogecoin pumper answer would be like, no, diamond hands. By the way, diamonds, I'm in that industry and they are notorious for not holding value, diamonds. So you might want to say silver hands. You might want to change the diamond hands, because the way I look at the diamond hands thing, it's like there's a diamond in the center of hands, and it's like this Indiana Jones thing, where somebody wants to run in and grab the diamond and split, and you see it get dropped. That's what happened with GameStop. That's what happened with AMC. Not to take away from the brilliance of sticking it to the hedge fund. I thought that was beautiful in the beginning, but it's like playing poker, playing a long-term game of heads-up poker with a professional. If you got Phil Ivey across the table from you and you get him, in the beginning with an all-in, you caught him in a bluff. But if you keep playing that long game with Phil Ivey, with a professional poker player, it's not going to be too good of a decision. It's not going. The odds aren't in your favor. Let's just put it that way. That's how I feel about that situation. But the whole diamond hands thing, it feels like the people who are saying diamond hands, they got a diamond in the center there. Their hands aren't made out of diamond. They got a diamond in the center, and it's like an Indiana Jones thing where somebody wants to grab it and split. With Bitcoin, I'm seeing too many big time investors and huge companies. Tesla is an over $800 billion juggernaut of a company. This is a huge company to be putting a $1.5 billion position. I believe that's 10% of their treasury, roughly 10% of their treasury. Yeah, that's a strong position in Bitcoin. And as soon as I see less companies doing things like that and less conviction around the trade of Bitcoin, I'm holding mine with, wait for it, silver hands. Better yet, platinum hands. I've been bullish on platinum as well. So platinum and silver hands, one or the other, both of them work, but not diamond hands. We're going to take the diamond hand things and put it over there on the side. Excuse me. But those are the points I want to talk about on what it would take for me to sell my Bitcoin. I agree with Michael Saylor that we would need something better to come along. And right now, yes, is Bitcoin like this wild internet money? Like, it just doesn't make any sense when you're looking at it from, a beginner's perspective of Bitcoin. Yeah, it's crazy that it exists. It's also beautiful and elegant that it exists. But at the same time, what is the current system that we have? That's the real question you should ask yourself. What is the current monetary system? Is it diluted? Do you have no control over this dilution? Are they continuing to dilute this monetary system that they currently have under the fiat structure? What's this fiat money back to? All of these are questions you should ask yourself when you're looking to wonder where to put money. That's the first question you should ask yourself, is what is the system that we currently have for our monetary system? What is it? Do you believe in it? Genuinely, do you think it is right to print 3 trillion, just to print it right now and then it just exists? Should that be possible? Was it right to print 10 trillion in 2020, roughly gold's entire market cap? are those good things to do with a monetary system? What are the checks and balances in this monetary system? What are the checks and balances on the banks in this monetary system? Why are the interest rates at zero and why aren't they going up at all? These are all questions that you should ask yourself, specifically before you're ready to criticize Bitcoin and those who are holding Bitcoin. Those are the questions you should ask yourself prior. And yes, those are reasons to own precious metals as well. And I'm with you. I got a lot of precious metals. But those are also the reasons in the digital age that we're in to be holding Bitcoin. So to answer the question, to summarize, when there is less conviction with large companies, with institutions, with people like Cathie Woods not talking about, when ARK Invest isn't talking about it anymore, when Chamath isn't talking about it anymore, when Michael Saylor isn't talking about it anymore, when Raoul Paul isn't talking about it anymore, that's when I will take a signal to go, okay, well, maybe it's time to take some off the table here. The next thing is when something better comes along, like Michael Saylor so eloquently said. We will keep our eyes open. And as of right now, no, I'm so sorry. I know the doggy coin, the Dogecoin crowd, they're very proud of that work and the hype around it. And I know that they don't like me saying it like this, but you had the best case scenario for doggy coin. Doggy coin was announced by Elon Musk. You know, he said, oh, I bought some for my son X, you know, or something along those lines, some hodler for the toddler sort of thing. So that was your best case scenario, which was like yesterday. And it's still, we could check it right now. Let's check where it is. So Bitcoin at the time of this video right now is at 47,578. And we'll call it Dogecoin. Fine, Dogecoin. I like Doggy Coin, but Dogecoin. Doggy Coin is currently at 7 cents. It's down 5% from, it's not having too good of a day, but you would think that after that tweet that Elon Musk just did, because that's best case scenario, 46 million people being tweeted at once that Elon Musk is buying some Dogecoin, you would think that's best case scenario for the hype of it, right? Well, it went down after that tweet. So if that's not a sign, I don't know what is. But I got a lot of respect for how much interest the hype behind an altcoin like that can bring into the actual crypto market. And when I say actual crypto market, I mean Bitcoin, number one, Ethereum, Litecoin maybe. Litecoin does the same thing as, you know, Doggy Coin, but a lot better. My main coin is Bitcoin. I don't have anything else other than Bitcoin, but I am interested in Ethereum. I want to see some more adoption in that. Just like I said with my point number one is, you know, I want to see more people with conviction about Ethereum. I'm seeing a little bit of it. But I want to see some companies get into Ethereum. You know, maybe some companies adopt the technology behind Ethereum into a viable platform. Those are the things that I'm looking for before I get into Ethereum. But I hope this video helped you in some way. If it did help you, please consider helping me with the YouTube algorithm and smash the like button. It takes a lot of effort to make these videos. I don't do the editing thing, so I do it in one take. So it's not extremely easy to do these, but I really, really enjoy it. And it's been an amazing experience seeing this community evolve here on YouTube. If you want to click the subscribe down below and the bell afterwards, it's totally free to do it. And I would love to have you in the community. Thank you so much for watching. And please do smash that like button. See you at the next video.